get started.
Welcome to Just Mashing It. This week on the show, we're asking, what's the most embarrassing place you've puked or pooped or pissed while intoxicated? Why don't we start with you, Bada?
All right. I'm going to have to go with puking. And mine was, I was just absolutely hammered. And one of our buddies,
That's
Drogels,
the idea.
Yep, that was the idea.
Yeah.
So one of our buddies, Drogels, was driving me home. And we're at the intersection, bunch of people around. It's like, well, not a bunch of people around, but it's like 1 a.m. So like, 4 cars around, bunch for the time.
Yeah.
We're sitting there, and he's like, do you need me to pull over? And I was like, nah, I'm good. He's like, are you sure? Do you need me to pull over? I was like, no, I'm sure. Let's go. We can go. Light turns green, foot into the intersection. I was like, you need to stop. And just open the door and just start puking my guts out all over the intersection. But as a gentleman, waving people along to let them know they can pass, and it was fine to go. As I'm just puking for like 2 or 3 minutes. And Drogs is laughing his ass off.
It probably was closer to like 10 seconds.
Probably.
But being hammered, like, this is the longest experience of my life.
But yeah, that would have to be my most embarrassing and most public one.
Excellent. How about you, Tommy?
Well, back in the day, when we had a friend, Kelsey, lived over on Pondside in Keene State, we had been out the night before drinking.
Name dropper.
What?
You're name dropping.
I am name dropping.
Yeah,
We'll have to bleep that out.
Yeah. I didn't say last names. So. Anyways, we were drinking heavily, and we eventually got back to Pondside, and the morning after I'd woken up, and there was a bunch of girls in the bathroom, so I decided to meander outside into the closest bushes I could find, which was directly in front of the building, right across the walking path, and I had zipped open. I had a nice scene in front of me looking at the pond as I just whizzed, and I heard what sounded like a group of horses behind me to turn around and see the entire track team on a practice lap around the campus. How you doing?
Well done.
That's my penis. Have a nice morning.
Just trying to invigorate their practice.
Yeah.
This is what you're working for, boys.
Yeah. I had another story when I was in college. We were on our way to a car show, and my buddy was driving a car that had a moonroof, and I had been shotgun seat drinking. And I got pretty drunk, and I was like, God, I got to take a piss. And he's like, all right, that's too bad. The next exit's not for another 10 miles. Like, oh, I got to take a piss. I got to take a piss. I got to take a piss so bad, I'm going to do a handstand out the window and take a piss.
Whoa. Did you pull it out?
No way.
Yeah.
What he didn't tell you is it wet in his pants.
Yeah.
I did the handstand. I couldn't do the
Well,
step
there was friends behind us, and they like called him. He's like, is he seriously pissing out the window? Oh my God, he's pissing!
I'm trying to figure out why it's necessary to be upside down for that.
Doing a handstand out the moonroof, so take that with a grain of salt.
Oh, he's out the moonroof.
Yeah, sunroof, whatever you want.
Oh, I
to
was
call it.
picturing the window, and I was like, why can't
No,
you just lean out
no,
the
I was doing a
window?
handstand
Out the sunroof.
out the
Okay.
sunroof,
That makes slightly more sense.
taking a piss. It mainly dribbled down the back window.
All right. Got it. Well, that's a tough act to follow. What do you got, Doug?
It's not really all that embarrassing other than the fact that it never got cleaned up. I was at my sister's wedding, and it was open bar because that's the only kind of wedding reception you can have. Otherwise, it's a sin.
Or go to for that.
Yeah, it's like consummating the marriage. Like
Yeah.
if you don't have that, you're not really married.
Yeah.
So, drinking lots of Long Island iced teas obviously leads to a really great end of the night. So driving on the way home, felt fine the whole way. Just before we turn onto the road, I was like, nope, it's over. This is done for. So I roll the window down and try to puke completely out of the car, but it went all the way down the outside of the car door. All the way, never got cleaned up, and now there's a rust stain in the shape of drizzled puke on the side of the car.
Was it like discolored?
Well, no, it was like it kind of already looked like rust. So once it dried and just kind of flaked away eventually, like there was just rust on the other side.
Oh.
Well, not so much the act itself, but the lack of giving a fuck later.
Yeah, I think,
Even making an effort to clean it
yeah,
up.
it was like, well, I'll just do it later. And then I just never did
And
it.
then
Never-
never
later.
came.
Yeah. Now it kind of almost looks like a upside down burning skull.
Some say they can
Yeah.
see Jesus in that stain.
Yeah. Virgin Mary sometime.
And Billy.
So I had to think about this. It's less about the where and more about the when. So the last time my friend came over, he's in the military. He actually is over in Afghanistan now. So before he went, he came over to visit. You guys were Tom, you were there. Jared?
Yeah.
Linder?
Oh, when we played Munchkin?
Yep.
Oh, God,
And so-
we got kind of drunk.
Yeah. So there was a lot of drinking. And then even after you guys left, we were just up for a while because I figured I only need like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And I kept asking Jared, what time is it? We're playing chess. We're drinking beer. We're drinking whiskey. And I'd want to have enough time to sober up and at least not feel like total crap when I have to drive him at like 3:30, 4 a.m. in the morning to the
I
airport.
think you need to clarify on what kind of whiskey that was, because that was whiskey that was, I think, older than I was.
Yeah, that was the $60 to $100 bottle whiskey, if I remember properly.
21-year-old whiskey.
Yeah, it was great. So I go ahead, I check the time with him, but I don't realize, and he doesn't realize that he's still on like Mountain or West Coast time or something. So like we're off by 2 hours. I'm like, fuck, I got to get up in 2 hours and drive you. So we go up to bed, and the whole way for like an hour and a half, I just feel like I need to shit really bad, like really bad. So I'm partially drunk. I'm really hungover, driving an hour and a half. So we stop halfway. And I need hydration, so I get a Gatorade, and I'm sitting in the car, and he's looking at me. Are you okay? Yeah, I just need. Hold on. I go in there, and I just demolish that toilet. It was
Knocks some of
bad.
the porcelain off.
Right, just a little bit. It was
I was
just
like, did I just shit white? No, the inside of the toilet's been
just
flaked
like
in.
white knuckle gripping the
chipping
seat,
away.
like
Oh!
it just keeps coming.
Bars a bend in it with the fist
Chocolate
grip.
Yeah. And so, because I already went in there, so the kid obviously knew what had happened, and
Yeah.
I hope it all worked out for him. But
Yeah.
and
Let's
then
just
I had to drive the rest
yeah.
of the way, and then all the way back still, and I think I had to stop
I mean,
again.
it'd make
but
his morning.
and it's the thing, it's like everybody poops, but there's a certain amount of shame when you know what just happened and they know what just happened, and you're just sitting there. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good now. And then you just drive off. Yeah.
So what about you, Ian?
Well, as I was listening to you guys, I thought of so many wonderful stories. But the one that takes the cake is probably when I must have pissed myself at my buddy's apartment and tried to change, and in my head I was like at home or something. I just went into the next room, but the next room was actually the apartment down the hall, and I'm getting woken up by the cops on the state's couch. It's this couple, and they look terrified. I mean, I was just
Wait, you
trying-
just walked right in? They didn't have the door locked?
It wasn't locked. In
Well,
my defense,
I feel like that's their fault. If you leave your door unlocked in Keene, like, and a
Drunk
dude
people are
and,
coming
and
in
the
naked.
dude like is all of a sudden there naked on your couch with just his socks on.
I did have my socks on.
Right,
I tried
'cause it's
to
classy.
reason with my friends later. It's like, how come the guy didn't just like kick my ass or something? Why do you have to involve the cops? And they're like, well, like nobody wants to have the naked fight. I was like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, I feel like that's an extra weapon. That
Yeah.
shouldn't
Well,
be
you
allowed in a
just
fight.
don't want to get the Wang Chung involved at all. It's
Right.
just kind of like
Yeah, and I feel like you can't do any proper wrestling moves.
And he did lend me a pair of underwear. I never returned it.
I don't think he wanted you to.
Yeah,
I'm just
Yeah,
trying-
He
to
wasn't
this
heartbroken
to
about
this
that.
day, he has a picture of you, and he's been like building an entire case of the stolen underwear. That rat bastard stole my underwear.
I really just want to know how that interaction went when the guy walks in and he sees you on the couch. He's just looking.
He had to have.
Han,
No,
there. Were you expecting company?
yeah, I feel like if I ever like just walked into the next room and there's just a dude naked, just socks, pass on the couch, be like, I must know that guy.
Yeah.
He must know me to just show up to my house, butt naked, except socks.
Except for socks.
Right, class. All right, that I would know him. I would.
The
have
immediate
to
assumption is I must know.
Yeah, I must
Okay,
know
yeah.
this dude. So it's cool that his wiener's all over the couch.
Yeah, probably offer him a beer, you know.
Yeah. Be like, where do I know you from? I live next door. Oh, see? And then there you go. Now you know him.
This
But I
can
guess-
be edited out or saved for bonus footage. But the story I almost went with, I was at this bar in Providence, drinking heavily, and I suddenly puked in the middle of the bar, like not even hidden in the corner or anything.
Just out on the dance floor.
I had just finished my beer, and again, like I kept my socks on that day. Like I kept it classy. I just filled the pint glass
Dude, well, someone just left a full one over there. You could have that, right?
Oh, that daiquiri doesn't look too good. Ah.
I could go on, but I'll save them for another day.
I feel like everybody's done that.
Yeah, except some people
Everybody's done what?
don't want to talk
Puked
about
in
it.
like, not in public, but puked in a glass like that. Like you've been drinking heavily and you're like, oh God, and you just like can't get to the bathroom.
I think you have a very
No,
interesting idea
one
of
time-
what everybody consists of. Because
All
for
right,
me,
you
it's
know-
buckets.
I've done that.
I need buckets.
You know when like anytime you're watching a movie where a boat or a sub is sinking because the flood or the water's flooding in, and you see
movies
those
all the time.
and you see the doors like slowly breaking. It's like, like I've had a couple moments like that, forcing myself to hold it in and just get these little spurts. Where it's like, and you're like,
Yep.
and then you just swallow your pride.
Or something.
Oh, now the bathroom's open. I'll go in now. Let's drink.
Oh, the toilet seat was down.
Oh, I could keep going, but we're running low on time. We really gotta move on. Something that I think is interesting is the idea of being able to harness the power of gaming for the greater good. If you imagine how many millions of people are playing World of Warcraft at any given moment or any other massive game, what if you could focus their energy on something productive for even 5 minutes? You know, how much could we accomplish with millions of people's time for 5 minutes? And I found 2 examples of this. One is from a few years back called freerice.com. It's basically a vocabulary building game, or it's just a simple word game where you learn the definitions of words and things like that. But with the ad revenue generated from this website, all of it was put towards a charity that donated rice to the needy. So they say for every correct answer that you got on the website, they would donate 20 grains of rice. And at the time, I mean, this was 2007. At the time, it was kind of a new idea. I played it for a couple hours. I got like 2 bags of rice donated. And
Interesting.
I did some research. It's actually legit. Like, if you look at freerice.com, they have donated, at this point, a
Pretty
lot of
transparent, are
food.
they, with their donating?
Yeah, well, because they got accusations and, like, that it was a hoax. And, like, you can, now there's been research done where, like, it shows you they donated, they fed, and even to this day, like, when it was first launched, it was way more popular. And they donated a lot more rice, but they calculated how many adults they could feed per day. And it's still, even today, I looked, they started off where it was, like, a few, like, 20 or 30,000 adults per day fed from this website. Today, it's still around 500 adults fed every day from freerice.com. So it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of, I don't know if you know, but the CAPTCHAs, they initially started to help translate digital text.
Yep.
So when they scanned these, like, whatever the book was, if the system that they scanned it to couldn't understand the word, they would actually put it out there, and then that's why you always had to do 2 words with the CAPTCHA, and one looked like crap, because that was one that was actually scanned, and they took it out, and they put it on there, and they had the first one was to, like, prove that you actually knew English, so you type that in, and the next one was a real word, and you'd be like, okay, so we have reason to believe that we can actually...
So they're crowdsourcing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm pissed because I didn't get paid. I've put in so many CAPTCHAs. Where's
Well,
my
That's
half
the
cent?
beauty of it. The beauty of this
My
type
half
of thing
cent. Yeah.
is that they can harness, the people are already spending this energy. They're basically getting volunteers, and if done correctly, it can do important work. The more recent example was this program called Fold It, in which these molecular biologists had been trying to solve this puzzle.
The human genome? Is that
No,
what
this
you're
had to
talking
do with,
That
there was a
was-
protein that led to AIDS, and they couldn't quite map it correctly, and they had supercomputers working on this for years, and the supercomputers could not figure it out, and they thought, well, humans probably have better problem-solving abilities than this supercomputer. So they turned it basically into a video game where the more accurately you mapped out this protein, you got more points, and within 3 weeks, they had
Wow.
solved the puzzle. Just people doing it for free on the internet, just gamers volunteering their time, solved
something that could help find a cure for AIDS within a few weeks, something that a computer program couldn't do for years.
But that's the thing. It's not donating your time because you're actually spending your time doing something you want to do.
But you didn't get
Like-
paid for it. You
Right,
volunteered
right,
that time.
Right, but you're playing
You did it for fun.
A free-to-play
Yeah, but-
game. Right.
So
right,
exactly,
right.
if you can turn work
Yeah.
into a game
Yeah,
that
yeah.
people just want to do for fun, imagine what could be
Yeah,
accomplished.
if the pay you get was just the fulfillment of playing the game and like, oh, this was a blast to play, and then you get all that work out of it. It's,
If that could
Yeah.
be
Oh, that's
applied
cool.
on a larger scale, there
They're
could be serious achievements accomplished just by people playing games.
they're starting to do that. The guy that did CAPTCHA, his next project is translating the internet. And basically what they do, I forgot what the site is called, Doublespeak or something like
I
that.
heard that same.
Double
Yeah,
Talk.
I know what you're talking about.
What they do is they just like kind of teach you how to like translate direct English, and the better you get, obviously you're learning how to like read and write like Spanish, Russian, whatever language you want to learn.
Yeah.
But you're doing it instead of like sitting down and learning like, happy, sad, apple, bibliotech.
You're learning
You're
actual-
they're taking like news clippings and Wikipedia entries from English and saying, oh, we want you to translate this as best you can. And so
In
like
little pieces, it's like word by
obviously, like,
word. That's
so you know
the
how,
crazy
like, when you
thing.
do Google Translate on like whatever website, it's like sometimes the English is kind of broken. But it's like the same thing. At least it's there though, and you can understand it. You're like, all right, well that verb's a little screwed up, and you wouldn't word it that way because it's English, and English language is really kind of stupid.
Yeah, really.
But
Really
you're like essentially translating the entire internet like for free. But
Yeah.
it's not for free because you're getting something out of it, and that's learning a language, which is valuable.
Could you imagine? Because one of the things I've always thought about. Yep. Has anybody seen the movie Toys with Robin Williams?
Not for a long time.
Part of it.
They one
Is
of
that
the
where they tried to buy a man?
no
No.
that's the
Bicentennial.
toy with
Oh.
no, the toy with Richard Pryor,
Which
which brought up like slavery as part of it. It's like, wait, he's buying a black man. Anyway,
No, Toys
yeah.
was a
Toys
much
was
happy
Robin
film.
Williams, but in it, like, there's this guy. He's a like 4-star general who like inherits a toy
Can
shop.
we just pause for a second and mention that LL Cool J is one of the like secret operative guys?
Oh, that's right.
Nice.
Yep, there you
Nice.
go.
Excellent.
But basically, the gist is this guy builds this video game, and all these kids are playing this video game, and it actually turns out they're piloting real fighter jets, just like we have drones now. And all I can think is the number of like top 10 players on like Black Ops. You get a full Android together, boom, you got an
Oh,
army.
yeah.
You got an army.
Well,
That's
maybe
a very-
not. I wouldn't. Okay, I gotta stop and pause for a second because Call of Duty is a terrible
Wait.
example.
Well, here's
wait,
here's the assumption I'm going with. The Android can kill you with a single knife swipe after doing a Superman and cutting your lower.
And the
thumbnail.
Android has the ability to quickscope.
Yes.
But the Android does not
take
have
that-
the,
to take
the
that
Android
50
does not
cal
have the ability
real
to
quick
respawn
snipe.
in a death match. That's
I would
all.
still
Yeah,
like to say
and they just rush in.
He
like
just straight up
idiots.
doesn't die though. He
Oh,
just straight
okay,
up
yeah.
gets hit and just keep walking, which is like Call of Duty.
Yes,
But
Again,
still-
these are all valid.
But you
points.
take something like that, or you even look at like theme park, roller coaster tycoon, Sim Hospital, Sim City. Like people are dealing with real world problems. Or in a video game simulation, you just find little things for somebody to be like, "Hey, I'm playing this game, and oh, there's this alert. I got to solve this problem." And all of a sudden, you're like, there's some crisis situation in like Uzbekistan that you just solved because you're just playing a game.
I'm glad that Bill brought that up with the military aspects of this, because what I was imagining is we're going to feed starving people and we're going to find a cure for AIDS, but more realistically what's going to happen is we're going to advance the war machine and find better ways to kill people, and we're going to fuck shit up with gamers, and we're the gamers are the best at killing people, and we don't have time to find a cure for AIDS or to feed people.
we just
Come
gotta
on.
kill them all.
Yeah,
yes.
that's. I mean, I hate to say it, but realistically, that's the way it's going to be
But
applied.
you got to admit that in the future, the idea of an android like just
well, if you could use
dipping
it,
his sack into the enemy's mouth after he's killed him is hilarious.
No,
It
that will
is
be against the
hilarious.
Geneva
Why is that where you
Convention.
go with it?
No, because
Well,
by
because
that
you know
point,
it's
they
gonna
have
happen.
Androids.
if
They would
gamers are
kill
doing the
their
killing,
android
gamers are
and then
doing the
teabag their
teabagging
android.
also.
Yeah,
That's right.
that is true. Just
It's gonna be
we lost
hilarious.
another android because he was teabagging the enemy. We've got to cut down on this.
That,
The
though.
war against
'Cause you could
teabagging.
you just be waiting in a lobby and like somebody who's just doing too much teabagging of his android is just gonna get booted, and then you
You'll-
just jump
you'll be
right in. And
fighting
you're
for
like,
your
yeah, there we
country.
go.
You'll be fighting for your country, controlling your android on the front line, and the next thing you know, you get booted for profanity or teabagging.
That's the future.
StarCraft 2 from Blizzard Entertainment. I dominate the battlefield. Let me try to explain it. You don't have enough minerals. I rush the spot like a criminal, racking up victories. You don't even use the hotkeys. I micro while I'm macro, playing hard of the swarm. Upgrade all my units. All my foes are outperformed. They're all like, good luck, have fun. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, son. Killing off their drones while I'm fucking up their shit. Breaking all their bones until they just rage quit. Moving up the ladder, making all the circles splatter. Rat-a-tat-tat-a with my unit combinations. People try to counter, but it's total devastation. Oh, you're trying to expand? Yeah, that's real cute. My detector units made you a cloak upgrade move. Step to me on BattleNet if you think you can hang. I rain down blood, man, your strategy's lame. You're like,
not enough minerals.
all the time, and I'm like,
Insufficient Vespene gas.
got the medic marine combo. Do it all the time. People say I'm cheesing when I joke the fucking rhyme. Oh yeah, you can get me a new version of the beat with louder cymbals. There's some shit we want to play, and we're gonna tell you about it.
There's some shit we want to play! Right now, we're going to talk about it.
Listen, bitches. And that shit is scale.
So basically, in scale, you're just it's only in Kickstarter right now, but you have a gun similar to like the Portal type gun, and basically the gun can scale objects bigger or smaller, and you use them. Well, eventually you'll use it to solve like puzzles and stuff throughout the game.
That's your assumption.
Well, no, that's what the Kickstarter says.
It's actually going to be massive PvP battles.
It's going to be a first-person puzzler. But yeah, so basically, you some of the examples are they shrink the moon and raise the moon to like raise the water up and down to make the boat go and stuff like that.
The
There's a
tides.
ton. We'll put a link to one of the more ridiculous trailers on there to show you the real
and that was one of the things that I
capabilities.
noticed in the trailer. They made the moon bigger, and he was on a boat, but I didn't see any waves. I feel like, wouldn't making the moon bigger make more waves?
Not if you're Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Sorry, that reference is literally over my head. Like your voice, went over my head, and then figuratively, I just didn't understand.
Bill O'Reilly doesn't understand moon and the tides. But anyway, more about the game.
Yeah. Okay. So the game is based around a prison break. It's based around a heroine named Penny Prince, an inventor of a powerful resizing device, who accidentally used it to destroy the entire East Coast.
So,
convicted on more than 9 million accounts of depraved heart murder, she managed to construct a makeshift version of her invention and use it to escape the prison.
okay,
What
so
immediately
how-
comes to mind, first of all, with a heroine named Penny who makes this resizing gun, the first thing that comes to mind is dirty stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not just me. There's lots of dirty stuff
Well,
being resized.
What I'm wondering is if you watch the trailer, you'll see the graphics seem very kid-oriented. Not necessarily like kid-oriented. I don't know. Like they'd seem a little more like cartoony and light and lively. And the music, I guess, now kind of fits with their whole theme. But all I want to know, okay, you got 2 players in the game, and there's a bug or some object. One is trying to shrink it. One is trying to make it larger. Does it just explode?
I don't know. I don't know.
Can there even be 2
I don't know
players
if there
in the
can even
game?
be 2 players in the game.
Well, that wouldn't be very much fun.
I think it reminds me a lot of Portal, which was a good single-player puzzle game
Yeah.
with a similar gun type,
Yeah, it's
running
gonna
around
be a
in the
puzzler.
environment, changing shit with your gun.
This
I
is like
enjoyed it.
changing the environment. Well, I think that the general concept will be the same, like the solving puzzles.
Yeah.
But I get bored solving puzzles. I need stuff to kill. Like I want to
Like an insect?
yeah, like I need to make the sledgehammer like really huge and make one big arm for myself so I can like swing it around but still use the gun.
That'd be right.
I think it'd be sweet. Just a massive arm crushing bugs.
Actually, if you could add things like projectiles, because then you could like line up a shot with a sniper rifle and then switch to the gun, make the bullet huge so you wouldn't miss, and it'd just be like a giant bullet bill from Mario 64. Just
But I'm pretty sure physics would play into it.
Would
If you
they?
made the object
would
much
they,
larger,
Doug?
it would travel much
I just wanted to
slower.
imagine the reaction time to shoot the bullet, switch to the gun real quick, and catch it in
Yeah.
midair and be like,
well,
Yeah,
I mean,
but from a heroin addict, no less. Remember,
Right.
I doubt
no,
she's-
it's not.
I doubt
It's not a
she's-
heroin
heroin
addict.
addict,
It's
she's a
heroin, like the hero, just the female version
I
of
like
hero.
Doug's take on it
just,
better.
I just heard heroin
Who destroyed
addict. You mean a
just
heroine?
little
A
bit.
heroine.
A heroine.
Yes, the heroin.
I like heard heroin just started going. A heroin addict somehow
Escaped
invents
from
a
jail.
gun, escapes from jail. This doesn't make any sense.
I just wanted more heroin.
And she's the
All I tried to
villain.
do was make
She
my
would be the-
heroin bigger, and I missed.
She just committed mass genocide. And she's called the heroine. Are you kidding me? Like, oh yeah, no, she's the savior of everything. She just had to kill like 9 million people
Yeah.
to do it. Okay,
I'm still.
Makes sense.
My theory
No,
is
she's brought up on 9 million counts. It doesn't say if she's guilty.
Oh, that's
or
right.
not.
That's allegedly.
Allegedly, she murdered 9 million
Allegedly,
people.
she committed genocide. Okay,
Um,
not acceptable.
Now, not so much shit I want to play, but just along the lines of shit.
Shit.
There's another game where you poop on the floor to slow down your enemies.
Yes.
It's called Poöf.
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. 2D?
It's described as a little bit platformer, a little bit tower defense.
All right,
Oh,
but
I might have to
here's-
play this
yeah.
game.
but
Poof.
so it's probably isometric camera view then. That
Yeah.
sounds boring. If it was like 3D, that'd be totally awesome. Because then you could see the detail. There'd be different types of poop slows.
Yeah.
Like you'd have your twirly Duke, you know, and that causes
Oh, okay.
that causes the enemies to fall comically
Now,
to the ground
this
and are
isn't-
stunned.
I don't know if this makes it better or worse for you guys, but you play a dog as the main character. You're not a person doing this. You're a dog. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's not as fun.
I think I like the idea better when I thought it was a human.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'll have to make a mod.
yeah. 4-player co-op, and that one would be sweet. Dude, lay some shit down, man. I'm trying.
What kind of power ups are there? Like coffee and
Mexican food,
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
fiber.
They're gonna partner with Taco Bell.
you
for
gotta
that one.
click really, really fast if you're constipated. It's like
Make
Lays
the
down
Randy
the end.
noises. Hot, hot, hot.
Oh, I'm good. Good.
Actually, that sounds, I think, better than the one with the heroin addict who makes the gun.
Gotta get your Keurig level up.
what's
Yeah.
it called again?
Poöf.
Poof.
P-O.
I thought you said
Um,
poop the first time. And I was
No.
like, yeah, this is
But that's a little
No,
weird.
you use poop to slow your enemies.
Oh, okay. My bad.
But what are you? Well,
I smell crossover really, because then you poop and then you resize it to block them.
I'm not gonna lie, both
Period
of those
time.
games sound terrible. terrible.
yeah, I know this. I
Well,
feel
the
like
poop
this,
one was the one I was legitimately wanting to play.
That's
I
some
just
shit
thought
I
it was
don't want to play
Oh,
ever.
shit.
depending on how like they actually make the game mechanics and the play style scale could be fun.
just like a time waster, like a mind.
But currently, I see it as more of a tech demo.
yeah, I mean, well,
This is a
literally,
really cool concept. Try it out.
literally,
All right.
that's all it is. Like, this is a really cool concept. Give us money and we'll make this into a game.
And maybe this will actually turn into a game you want to play.
Analog sub-corridor. Thought you were a number in a silicone plug that conceal it all. Don't reflect it all, awake to start